G'day, today we're going to have a look at one of the mini motorways challenge city maps. So we're going to go for Stars in Their Eyes this time, which will be our last of our Los Angeles ones. So our requirements here are all weekly choices are doubled, which will be nice. Weekly choices are now a mystery. Alright, so that's an interesting little bit of give and take there. Let's see how we go. Certainly it's going to reach a point where we're really going to need motorways, I assume, but at least every time we get motorways, we're going to get two, so hopefully we can go for some big score. Yeah. This is my color blind mode again. I've customized the colors slightly again. I think I've changed one color in this one, and sort of the order that they appear to really try and refine my the best looking of the colors. Let's see what we think. I am a Rams fan when it comes to the NFL, if you're wondering why I've gone yellow and blue to start off. It'd be nice to have those blue houses a little bit closer. I suppose they could cut through here and have yellow just sort of work around the top of them. But I don't know if that would save either of them much time. Oh, it's going to be another one of those where I end up with a lot of bridges in Los Angeles and nowhere to cross. Okay. Let's think about what we want to do here. I think possibly that might be our adjusted route for now. I've already got 3 bridges. I'm pretty happy to be very liberal with my use of them. Hopefully neither of these two setups are long term, that we'll get a second blue setup somewhere and a second yellow one, so that these can all hub to the same one location. Hub's not the right word to use there, I don't think. Just go, I suppose, would do the work. I'll go to the same location. Alright, we'll just always go to the one on the left. That'll be my rule here. Whether that pays off, I don't know. I say it every single time, but that purple is great. I don't know too much about color blindness and what colors it is you predominantly don't see. I do recall there was a game in the NFL, so going back to my theme of the NFL for this one, that was called the colorblind game, because one team was wearing red and the other one was wearing, was it green? But this is a different color that I've brought in this time. This really sort of like toxic green. What do we think of that one? Would like him connected, but I don't think that it's really in a place to get there at all yet. It's going to be hard not being able to just request motorways, I think. And it was assuming it was green and red. It was called the colorblind game because they were wearing Color Rush, which was head to toe the same one color. So one team was entirely green and the other was entirely red. So to people with that particular type of color blindness, there was just, you couldn't tell the difference between the players. That's about the extent of my my colorblind knowledge. Okay, so I think this is possibly thing I do a fair bit in this one is that if we get something like that, we want to flip all the way up and just allow purple to stay in with the other one. Put a roundabout in there. And we've got 82 squares at the moment, so let's just give him his own separate connection, because if he joined into this, we'd either need a set of lights, or he'd be slowing everyone else down. Okay. Now, there's no gap in here. If there was, I would revert blue to running through this section here, and have yellow just run up and around and get these two guys. Because that's not the case, how are we going to get these two guys connected for now? They could have the very long route of going all the way around blue, or what we can do is probably just chuck a roundabout in here. Now, I don't think I need a set of lights there, because you see these guys won't slow down, because even though that's a destination, this is a driveway. It's not a three sort of point connection. But the other thing we want to now be aware of in this section, more bridges, is this guy is still operating on one house. So eventually we could swing one of these guys over, or we could just try and connect the two together. So that's 5 houses looking after 2 as opposed to 4 houses looking after one looking after the other. Alternatively, we could swing these guys down, come around and connect up. Or do it with a motorway, but I'm definitely thinking that the way to build this level is not rely on motorways at all, because there's no way that we can ever guarantee that we're going to be getting them. Alright, so we just swung green up to help out purple. Now what we're going to have to do is swing them. We've only got 5 houses, so for now let's just do this, just to give this guy the most direct route, because he's going to be looking after that on his own. It's funny, because in the colorblind mode you pick the colors you want, so I know how many colors are coming, even though, like, beautiful thing to see, even though it is something that's generally is happened exactly the same for every single Motorways map that I've played, that I've gotten the exact same amount of colors. I don't know how many colors that is, but I do know when I just set up my colorblind mode that I think pink was the last color I put in line. So when I see a pink house, I know I'm not getting any more variety of colors. They're all going to be the same after that. Okay, this is a... No, that's fixable, because what we can now do is we can say, alright, green, you've done the hard yards there. Please be rewarded with motorway. Send green across that way. Then what we can do is, I suppose we can leave him connected like that for now. And we'll get these two guys to come over. And then one of our many, many traffic lights. But we do actually want to get this guy down, because give him a set of traffic lights too. Because this guy's obviously circular, so we don't want to under assist him. We are getting a few blue houses over here that we could always highway over. Whether we want to give these two guys back to this one, or and then highway these two to here, or we can just highway those two over as an emergency backup for if these guys are struggling. More roundabouts. And we do also have that motorway, so this is a bit of a distance for these guys to be traveling to him now, but we can just separate this off and have him just going direct. Let's just pause for a second while we get these guys coming in. Maybe we don't even need to worry about that. If we get 3 more houses in this area, they might be able to handle a circular one on their own. But now these are going to be playing backup to that. Yeah, definitely keeping an eye on that. Yeah, beautiful. Definitely keeping an eye on that yellow setup and the extra houses that I've got over here. But I mean, there's plenty of room to get more factories here too, so we don't want to commit guys to a section where we don't need them yet, and we might end up with a destination right next door. Now, even with the amount of houses we've got, we can see that purple here is sort of struggling a little bit. But that's just purely because of the distance that these guys have to travel in order to take care of it. So it is fixable with a motorway. But, I mean, you can also see they are fixing it a bit here too. I think it does look worse than it actually is because it has to gain a, like something to be picked up before anyone can go and try and get it. So, like, of course there's going to be 1 or 2 sitting there because they have to build that way. Like, that one will sit there. As soon as that one comes up, the guy's going to leave the house here, and so it's going to be there for the entire duration of his trip. Alright, we're pretty flush for highways now, so we can start using them a bit more liberally, I'd say. This guy gets another house down here. Cool. Then we will cut those guys from that. We'll put these guys around that way. And we will consider this for a motorway. So what I might do is just pause for a second. Put that in there. Shift that to there. Because this guy's green now, let's try and build more of a system to the way that they roll in. Just don't know about having this guy connect direct like that. That's just going to slow things down for him, but we'll see how we go. It's not something I've done very often. Okay, so let's get rid of that. We will make that set up for him. Then what we'll do is get rid of that, get rid of all of that, and give these guys just a direct route over. Hopefully save him some time. So we'll give up on that, and we will let these guys just go right there. Since we've got a roundabout, let's just pretty up the neighborhood with a roundabout. And bring this guy down here. Still eyeing off these three guys to connect to here and just switching him up to help out with that. Put a set of lights in there. This guy's a little bit in no man's land here. He's potentially now the closest guy to this. And I'm not sure he's needed at the top. 281 road. We're definitely being efficient with our road use, I guess. Him over, and then just send them straight up that way. A real scattering of yellow houses, that top section now. Because we've got these houses here, these are the backups, so you can see only one car is currently not at home with those guys. So, it does mean that these are handling that pretty well. Giving him to them would also be quite good. How many motorways have I still got? Because it would reduce that even more, which means that these guys aren't really having an issue with having to share that roundabout because they're the only ones going through it. So we've got so many roundabouts actually. Let's utilize another one. That's right. Sort of hook it up a little bit just to try and have them not having to completely turn on a dime when they arrive. So that's him. We'll then give that way. And this is our last motorway. So, so some of these might be just considered sort of luxury motorway options at the moment. We'll see if we need to change it up at any point. Still not the biggest fan of how this guy's going. Would be nice to see him working a little bit better. As you can see, he's going worse than this green. And they're basically, his guys are all basically traveling the same distance. In fact, you can see no one's currently at home from all this purple. So let's flick him around that way, and we'll just use a bridge to connect that guy in as a third option there. Although I think that means that this is now slowing down as they come back in. We do have this guy here that we could just connect. But whether he would cause more traffic than we want. Yeah, they're slowing down, but I think it's okay. Because it's just a square, it's not, at least at this point, he doesn't seem like he's going to be a problem for us. For at least a while. But the makeup of his four houses is pretty messy. See, this guy's getting a bit busier, and so is he. He's definitely a candidate for a motorway just to speed up the process of getting over to him. But again, that's probably more of a luxury upgrade than a necessity. You really are at the mercy of getting a motorway here. I definitely think it's probably about time that we just let blue cut past this roundabout. But again, you can see there's no one else in that roundabout but them. I think possibly blue's just having a sudden little surge. You can see all these two blues were a bit rough for a moment there too, but still plenty of cars moving. It's just they're not efficiently getting out of that that area. Now But this guy is very close. We do need to help out somehow here. What can we do? Because I think he's just going to continue to get worse as these are all moving through. It's a set of lights, it's just not helping. Beautiful. Okay. So what we can do is try and just have these guys maybe swing in there. Just put a little chip up there, and then just make a... This is just an emergency hub, really, to try and clean that up. So that you can see that as soon as we put that on, we've got five cars leaving from here. So it's that it's not just sort of that congestion, but the amount of cars available to take care of what they need isn't there. So let's try and address that nice and quick. That even if we can get rid of that motorway as soon as it's done, then that's fine. Basically, we're just keeping an eye on green for the same reason. So yellow as well. I mean, as this has gotten busier, you can see yellow is starting to feel that burn too. So, what can we do for yellow? There's so many people. I mean, yellow's just basically just got cars lined up. So does blue. It's as one got busier, the other suffered the consequences of it. This guy here needs a bit of attention too. And we can swing him in. And ask this guy to just sort of make a long journey down to help out. We've got at least 4 more cars on the road. That'll cause a little bit more congestion, but at least hopefully try and address the problem. Get this guy in here. Green is still not happy. I mean, it doesn't feel like there's too much I can do for green. They've got so many cars already. The vast majority of every car has gone to that one place. With the exception of these two here. Sort of feels like everyone's currently unhappy. You can see how long some of these guys are getting stuck just waiting to cross this this motorway. Alright. Let's try this. Let's flip him around there. Get rid of that. Leave that in there for now because both of these blue connections are going through it. And then get these guys to just hop over that in here. Set of lights. Alright, I'll get that purple guy connected there. Guess that's used my other motorway too, so I don't really have anywhere that I can just send a quick like assistance. Speaking of assistance, it would be good if we could get these two guys connected here. And I mean, we've got so much road that what we can do is just set them up as a backup. Put 4 houses in there, and then we can connect this guy also into there. It's funny how like congested this area is. That's like the cars are there. They've just got to get into the parking lot. It's not very efficient at all, but I mean, it's one of many problems we currently have. Let's get this guy connected there. It is funny that this guy's struggling, like, all get out, and then these dudes here are just like, no, this is fine. Let's get him across then. This yellow here is possibly where we're going to break. Just getting all these guys into the car park is our problem. Usually you'll see one colour surge somewhere, but the fact that so many colours are currently complaining would say to me that we've just got major problems. Okay. 2 motorways. So what do we need to address that these 2 motorways might be able to do? So this guy here needs a little bit more help, but so does this guy. So we can't just say flip him around, try and help cover this. This guy here, we need to just fix that area. There's just, the design is just completely wrong and causing him as much harm as it is sort of the need of the amount of guys going in. Okay, so what we'll do first up is we will cut all of this and no, let me revise. I'm going to keep all of that and we will add a motorway for these 3 houses. So it's not so much about making the current setup more efficient, it's about just giving them more houses to try and address the problems they need to do to not crash out. Okay. So purple's fine again. It is this guy here or that guy there that we need to have someone coming over to help with. But how many houses are currently not doing anything for either of these? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 houses that aren't doing anything. This guy, I mean, this guy we could try and sneak down through here. He can come help out with this guy. I feel that this guy is the one that currently needs the attention, so let's just use this motorway to get this one guy over to, just to sort of stop him from oh, because he's on a razor's edge at this point. And as long as we can get those extra houses in there, but I don't think it's going to be quick enough for this guy to sort it out. No, it was red that got me. There we go, 3,000, so not too bad. Let's see how we go on the charts. I imagine that this one could very possibly be affected by yeah, top 10, by the luck of the draw and what you are picking up. 447, not too bad. Yeah. Any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below, but until next time, catch you later. See ya.